How's it going, everyone? I'm JGeks, and this is my 8th video in my series on ore and mineral prices in EVE Echoes. All the prices you'll see in this video are based on the HighSec trading hubs of Jita, Alakara, and Amar. Not much has really changed in the market outside of Noxium and Zydrine falling, as well as Megasite going up in price, so now is the time for a new video. I've been really busy making stuff for the corporation, buyback programs, organizational stuff on Discord, as well as just making the corporation video that you can see right here. Thank you for watching this video, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and I'll get right back to you. Enjoy. Starting off with the tier chart, Scordite's the best ore to be gathering in HighSec currently, due to it having the highest output of pyrite for all of the HighSec ores. Pyrite is usually the limiting factor in most manufacturing jobs, so it's constantly in demand by industry players. Dark ochre and peroxaries can be found in some 0.5 systems in HighSec that have tier 4 belts, but most of these areas are overcrowded and filled with retrievers. This means that sometimes it's not even worth looking for these ores if the system's overcrowded, as you'll spend more time warping around to new belts than actually mining. Amber and Kernite come in second at 80 ISK per meters cubed. These are the only HighSec ores that contain isogen. Isogen's undervalued currently, so keep an eye on the isogen prices because if they go up in price, Amber and Kernite will become the best ores to mine for in HighSec. Veldspar and plagioclase are now tied for the 2 worst ores in the game and should be avoided if you're looking to make a decent profit from your time mining. Hemorphite is now the best ore to be mining in LowSec due to it being the only LowSec ore to contain the tier 7 mineral Zydrine. Dark ochre and peroxaries were the best LowSec ores a few weeks ago, but due to Noxium falling in price, now down to 1300 ISK, Hemorphite has taken their place as the best LowSec ore. There's only a 20 ISK difference per meters cubed between all the LowSec ores, not counting Gneiss, which is great news for retriever pilots who cannot target specific ores, as strip miners target random asteroids in range. This means no matter what you're mining in LowSec outside of Gneiss, you'll be earning roughly the same ISK per meters cubed. Spodumene is the ore you want to be targeting in LowSec for pyrite, dark ochre is what you want to be targeting for Noxium, and peroxaries are a good choice for an all-around composition of minerals, including Noxium. Gneiss has a great mix of pyrite, mexallion, and isogen, but has fallen to last place on the tier chart as it doesn't contain any of the tier 6 or tier 7 minerals Noxium and Zydrine. Gneiss will rise again on the list if isogen prices increase, as it has the highest isogen output of all the LowSec ores. Now looking at the NullSec tier chart, Arkonor is now the best ore to mine for in the game thanks to its large output of Megasite, which has risen in price over the last week. Megasite will be a primary component on all Tier 8 blueprints, and with Tier 8 only about 2 to 3 weeks away for the players with all 3 skill chips playing since day 1, Megasite is starting to get bought up and stockpiled in preparation for all of the new Tier 8 ships to be manufactured. Just keep in mind that Arkonor is only found in systems with a security of negative 0.6 or lower, so it can be a difficult ore to mine if you don't have protection from your corporation or alliance. Bistot is the second best ore in the game now, due to it being the only other ore besides Arkonor that contains Megasite. It also contains the tier 7 mineral Zydrine. Crocite and Jaspet are great ores to mine in NullSec if you cannot find any Arkonor or Bistot. Crocite is highly sought after as it has a very high output of Noxium and Zydrine, as well as the most tritanium in the game. Jaspet, just like Crocite, has Zydrine and Noxium, but instead of tritanium, it contains mexallion as its base mineral output. Hedbergite has a solid mix of minerals and is the only NullSec ore to contain isogen. Mercoxit is only found in negative 0.8 security systems or lower, but what's holding Mercoxit back in value is that its only output's morphite. While this is the only ore in the game with morphite as an output, the problem is that morphite isn't a component listed in any blueprint in the game currently. So while morphite will be valuable later on in EVE Echoes, it's currently only being bought as a long-term investment and has no demand currently in the game. At some point Mercoxit will be the most valuable ore, but this early on in the game, it has no practical uses, which keeps it at the bottom of the NullSec tier list. Now we'll take a look at the mineral prices. We'll first look at tritanium. Tritanium hasn't seen any changes and has been at 3 ISK since the beginning of the game. Occasionally you'll find sell orders for 2 ISKs, but they're few and far between. Pyrite's fallen slightly in price, but is stabilized at right around 22 ISK each. Mexallion's seen little change in the past few weeks. While it's gone down in price, I still believe it's undervalued. Mexallion should be going back up in price when Tier 8 comes around, So expect Mexallion to start going up slowly in price from what it's currently at 27 ISK. Isogen's in the same boat as Mexallion, and at 100 ISK each is undervalued compared to the other minerals. While all the minerals will be going up in price when Tier 8 comes out, expect Mexallion and Isogen to see a decent bump in price. Noxium prices have been hit hard over the past few weeks and have just been slowly falling in price this whole time, just now leveling out at around 3,000 to 4,000 ISK each. Zydrine, like Noxium, has been slowly falling in price, but has started to level off, and it also has seen a slight increase lately. So expect Zydrine to keep slowly going up in price as we get closer and closer to Tier 8, as it's a component that everyone's going to need in greater quantities than it has been before when Tier 8 comes out. Megasite's been going up slowly over time and has just recently spiked to its highest point. Currently it's sitting just below 4,000, but expect Megasite to slowly increase over price as we get closer and closer to Tier 8. Morphite has been slowly falling in price since Morphite isn't used in any of the blueprints in the game right now. It's only being bought by people that are investing for it later on in the game. So Morphite prices are something that, when it's really low, consider buying it if you're looking for a late game investment. But other than that, there's no real reason to stock up on Morphite unless you're looking for a long-term investment when it's cheap. Now we'll take a look at the HighSec ores. Now looking at the HighSec ores, you'll see the top line per meters cubed is the line you're looking at if you're the one out there mining, trying to see which is the best ISK for your time. This is what the tier chart that we went over is based off of, and so all of these numbers are the exact prices that I based that tier chart around. Looking at the second line, the per unit cost, that's how much it costs in the market for each unit. It takes 100 units to reprocess to get the output that you're seeing on the screen. The last line, the reprocess percent to break even, is what your reprocessing efficiency needs to be at to actually make money reprocessing your ores. Now, the reason for all of them being above 60% is 60% is what you get when you're at 5 basic, 5 advanced, and 4 expert. And that's where most people are at right now that are focusing on reprocessing a certain type, as getting to that 5th expert one is almost a month's worth of skill points. So most people stop at 554. For the reprocessing, you'll see that Veldspar and Scordite are the only ones where you break even at. The rest of these, you're going to be losing some value if you're reprocessing. Now, the reason some of the values are higher and still being sold at that price is it's much easier to move the minerals than it is the ores themselves. So a lot of people will just reprocess their ore. That way they're able to move it back to the trading hubs much easier than it would be to have to get a mammoth or a retriever to be bringing all your ores back. It's just a transportation issue in the game, and that's why some people are willing to reprocess their ores for a loss just because they're able to make transportation easier. Looking at the bottom left, you'll see the percent change from my last video. Veldspar's gone up a little bit in price, and that's mostly because now it's constantly found at 6 ISK. Before it would drop down to 5 ISK every once in a while, but now that it's sitting at 6 ISK most of the time, that's what's increasing its value. Amber's seen the smallest change in price due to it having a large output of tritanium, which is the only mineral here that's retained its value. The last thing I'll point out is in the bottom right, you can see all of the current mining ships available in the game. Most of them have stayed around their value, with the Venture 3 and the Retriever being the ones that have lost the most in value. The Venture 3s have gone down about 2.6 mil, and the Retrievers have gone down about 20 mil since my last video 2 weeks ago. Now we'll go over the LowSec ores. Now looking at the LowSec ores, you'll see from the bottom left where the percent change from last video is at, that all of them have gone down by between 14% to 23%. This is due to all of the outputs being minerals that have lost value over the past few weeks. Megasite's the only mineral that's gone up in price. That's why all of these have gone down slightly in value. The top line, once again, is the line that I used for the tier chart. The second line per unit shows the per unit cost. As you can see, all of them have gone down a little bit in value. And then the last line, reprocessing to break even, all of these once again are right around 60%, which is what most reprocessors are at, being at 5 basic, 5 advanced, and 5 expert. Spodymain's the only exception, and what that means is right now, the per unit cost for spodumene is low in price. As people realize this, the price for spodumene will go up quicker than all the other prices, but just know that right now spodumene is the only ore that you can mine in LowSec and reprocess for value gained. The last thing I'll cover are the NullSec ores. The last ores we'll be looking at are the NullSec ores. As you can see, NullSec is the place to be mining now. All the per meter costs have barely gone down in price, and for Bistot, Arkonor, and Reprocessing have actually gone up in value. Bistot and Arkonor have gone up in value thanks to Megasite, and Reprocessing has retained its value thanks to just people buying it out and using it as an investment. So the values for Reprocessing change every day, and this is just due to the uncertainty in the market since no one's actually using Morphite. It's just theirs when people buy it up for a late game investment. Looking at the reprocessing percent to break even, you'll see that only Crocite and Bistot actually gain value when you reprocess them. The rest of them are all above 60%, and so you'll be losing value. However, these ores have a lot of volume, more volume than all the other ores, so you mine them at a slower rate. This also means that it's much harder to transport these ores around, so most of the time, if someone's mining these ores out in deep NullSec, they're going to have reprocessors either reprocessing their ore for them or reprocessing it themselves before they bring it back to HighSec. Thanks for watching my video. Make sure to subscribe if you want to receive notifications when I release updates to these video series. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments and I'll get back to you. Other than that, I'm almost done with setting up this corporation. We're over 150 members now, and all of our programs are up and running, so I'll have a lot more time for content creation, and I'll be making a lot more videos for this channel here in the very near future. I'll also be streaming on twitch.tv/JGeks, so if you have any questions you want answered in real time, or if you just want to come hang out, you can find me there. Thank you to all my Patreon supporters. The Patreon link can be found in the description of this video. Also, if you want to check out the corporation video, here's a link to it. And thank you for watching my videos.